What's going on, everybody? David here. Today we're going to talk about the Osmo Action, the new firmware update. But first off, on this channel we talk about getting the right gear to improve your videos. If that sounds like something interesting to you, please hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the little bell notification so you can get future updates on my videos. Okay, so we have the Osmo Action here, and I'm going to do a firmware update. I'm not going to do it immediately. I'm going to show you guys the audio first, and then we'll do the firmware update, and we'll listen to the audio after that. And then there's a couple of other features, so wait till the end. There's a couple other features that I want to talk about too in the firmware update. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first test that we're going to do is the audio test. I have not downloaded the new firmware, so we're using the camera right now with the old firmware. This is directly out of the camera, so this is the mic directly out of camera, so we haven't hooked up any lav mic or anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and hook the lav mic up now so you'll be able to hear the difference with the lav mic. Okay, so now I've hooked up the lav mic, so I have the lav mic hooked up into the Osmo Action. So this is what it sounds like. No firmware update yet, we're just listening to the audio, so this is the way it sounds. Okay, so we've heard the audio, so now I want to do the firmware update. So we'll go ahead and do the firmware update, and then we'll listen to the audio again. Okay, so I've updated the firmware, and now this is what it sounds like, the Osmo Action with the Ceramic Blink 500, so that's what I'm using right now. This is what it sounds like. Okay, so you guys have heard the audio. Let me know in the comments section. Do you think it sounds better, sounds worse, sounds about the same? Please let me know. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is the latency or the delay when you wipe across the screen. So usually when you're recording 4K, 4K 30, 4K 24, 4K 60 frames per second, when you put your hand in front of it or any movement in front of the camera, there's a little bit of a delay. And I did the firmware update. You guys will check it out now. You can see there's still a little bit of a delay, but it's not that bad. It's actually a lot better than it was before. So that's a real improvement. I just don't like, I like to be able to frame my shot, and especially if you're shooting something that's fast moving, you want to make sure you have it in frame. And if it goes across the screen and you can't see it anymore, then it's hard to keep it in frame. So it's good that they're working on that. Hopefully in another firmware update they'll be able to get it to where it's real time and there's no latency at all. So the last firmware update is the loop. So the loop feature. Basically what that means is I can put on a loop for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and it will record for that time period. So let's give an example. So if it's a 20-minute loop, let's say I want to use it for surveillance or I want to use it as a dash cam, I can do that. Just record for 20 minutes. At the end of the 20 minutes, and it will start recording again, and it's going to record over what it recorded previously. So it'll continue to do that. So if there's a situation where you have an accident or if you want to pull some footage, you have that loop. So you can use it like a surveillance camera, really. So that's good. GoPros have been doing this for a while, but now DJI has this feature, which I think is really good. So overall, I think the firmware update's really good. Please let me know down below if the audio sounds good, sounds better. Please let me know. I'm really curious about that. If you have any other questions or anything like that, please post it down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.